Game Chat with Bwana, episode 82, starting right about now.
Welcome to Game Chat with Bwana, your source for gaming news and reviews. Now, here's Bwana McCall.
It's Game Chat with Bwana. Game Chat with Bwana, episode 82, coming at you live and live.bwana.twitch.tv. Some website on the internet. I can't think of it right now, but oh, there it is. Twitch.tv/Bwana. We are over here. It is Saturday, September 14th, 2013. This is episode 82 of Game Chat with Bwana. And what we do here at Game Chat with Bwana is that we talk about the last 7 days. The last 7 days of gaming news. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? Last 7 days of cheese. We talk about the last 7 days of cheese. The cheese has fermented a little bit more in the past 7 days, but we talk about gaming news. Yeah, we try to find the best stories on the internet related to PC gaming, console gaming, corporate stuff, quotes, all kinds of cool things that you may find other places. But we try to give our own unique take here at Game Chat. When I give you my insights, my little brain waves, things that happen in the Bwana brain, I throw them through the internet, and they project through your webcams, and they infiltrate your brain waves unwillingly. We will be coming soon. The Bwana Army! Nah, I'm just joking, but this Game Chat with Bwana, episode 82. So without further ado, I'm not going to prolong this any longer. Let's go ahead and prolong it a little bit longer. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, y'all. Yeah!
Game Chat with Bwana would not be possible without the support of our corporate partners. Twitch.tv, Wirecast, YouTube, and 123 Systems. Thank you all for your support of Game Chat with Bwana.
Alright then, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our first story. And I want you to say hello to the new and improved PlayStation Vita. What? Yeah, nobody called this one. This one came out of like right field. It was like, pow! Right on the head. Say hello to the new and improved PlayStation Vita. This thing looks like a Wii, and a Sony just, like some engineers just said, hey, man, why don't you come over, we have some pizza, talk about some designs. You know, I like what you guys are doing with the Vita. Well, I like what you guys are doing with the Nintendo Wii. Well, let's make a collaboration project, shall we? This thing looks so Wii-ish. It's so Wii. It's like the Wii and the Vita said, hi, here we are. Here's our collabo. It screams Nintendo. I'm sorry, Sony. This is like an all-white, clear button thing that just screams Nintendo. I don't know, man. But hey, here's what they say. It's gonna come in various colors. 20% thinner. 15% lighter. Oh, but they're gonna get rid of the OLED display. Oh, crap. Yeah, the OLED display, that really nice screen, has been destroyed, kicked to the curb in favor of LCD. Sony's trying to cut back on costs, obviously, by reverting to an LCD screen from their OLED screen. It's going to have 1 GB of memory built in, onboard memory, so that's good. And they've switched to micro USB. There'll be no more of that proprietary Sony connector nonsense. White, black, green white, light blue white, khaki black, and pink black. You probably got some shoes that match all of this. Release date is going to be October 10th in Japan, and it's going to be in the United States pretty soon after that. So this was kind of a surprise. This was at the pre-Tokyo Game Show press conference. It was just like, what's up, guys? We're Sony. Here's a new Vita. Everybody was like, Wait a minute. What? You're supposed to talk about the PlayStation 4. What's this Vita stuff? But they're making big pushes for the mobile gaming market. We're going to talk about this. That's going to kind of be the theme a little bit as we go through different stories. The mobile gaming market is getting a big push by Sony, mainly in their homeland. The mobile gaming market, excuse me, is bigger in Japan than it is over here, I believe. I think Sony is making more investments over there. This is dubbed the PCH 2000, I believe that's the model name. So those of you who currently own a Vita will definitely, you might possibly looking at this one as an alternative. Now, I was looking at this, I'm like, all right, so it looks like a Nintendo product, and Nintendo is notorious for releasing variants of the 3DS or the DS or the Game Boy. I'm like, Sony, have you guys been studying the Nintendo playbook over there? Just something to ponder and think about over this. Check this story out, guys. This is over MTV Multiplayer. They got the details. Say hello to the new and improved PlayStation Vita. Now for our next story, it doesn't stop there. Sony was like, all right, y'all like the new Wiita? Someone in the chat just said Wiita. I think it was Strumner. The Wiita. Y'all like the new Wiita, the PlayStation Vita? How about what if I told you that we can give you a PlayStation Vita to plug into your television that can play Vita games without your knowledge of the Vita even actually being there, and all you need is a DualShock controller? I'd say you're crazy, Sony. But Sony says, no! Nay! I say to thee, thou art worth not of this worthy knowledge. PlayStation Vita TV. That's what it's called, guys. The PlayStation Vita TV. It is essentially a very tiny device. It's a console, but it's a Vita. It's a Vita for your TV. Vita's a handheld for your TV that you use a DualShock on. So it's a combination between the PlayStation 4 and Vita for your TV, but a console, but not. Pretty interesting. It is kind of something that I'm just like, okay, Sony. Now, we talked about products kind of like this last couple shows ago. Android USB dongles, or HDMI dongles, if you will, that plug into your television set and allow you to play Android games as a console. And Sony's kind of taking their PlayStation Vita world that they've established, that they've invested in, the mobile gaming market, and they're thrusting it on your television set. The cool thing about this is that it will play a majority of PlayStation Vita games. And I say a majority because I saw some articles that brought out some games that won't work. I don't have it here. But majority of the games for the PlayStation Vita, PSP, PS1 Classics, there's going to be a ton of these games that you can play over this. And you also have the ability to remote play PS4 games with this. It's going to come with Hulu. Now that was the one thing I was going to ask. When I saw this, I was like, is it going to come with any kind of TV things like Netflix, Hulu, and something to watch TV? Oh, yeah, it's going to come with Hulu. It's going to come with the PlayStation Music stuff, Music Unlimited. Of course, Sony has to throw that on everything. So who's the market for this? When I saw this, I'm like, okay, people who have a Vita obviously have Vita games, so they might be in the market, to play the games that they play on the Vita on their television set. So they're playing a game on the bus and they want to finish the game or continue the game from their TV now at their home. That's one market. Who else? PlayStation 4 users? No, I don't think PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 users may be in the market for this, unless they also have a Vita and they just got to play that Vita on a different television. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the market, because it's kind of a niche, like right in the middle market. It's for those people who want to take that mobile experience to the television set. And like I said, Japan, Sony is making a big push in Japan for this mobile market. They're going to be really doing a lot of cool stuff with this in the coming future. Nintendo's already been doing it. I mean, the DS, the 3DS over there is just ridiculous, man. Everybody's like, if you look at I've seen pictures of people on trains in Japan, and everybody's like this. They've either got a PlayStation Vita, not everybody, but the gamers. They've either got a Vita or a DS glued to their face. Mobile gaming is really, really, really big over there. So check this story out, guys. You can connect. Let me give you some specs here. It has a standby mode. Can play the PS Vita games, or can play games with PS Vita users in ad hoc mode. 2 DualShock controllers, and videos stored on memory card or videos can be played on the browser of the PS Vita and can easily be transferred to the PS Vita TV. They got a bunch of other specs on here as well. Seems to be HDMI. So I'm like, man, Sony's they're throwing ripples in this market. This is something I didn't see coming. Kind of don't know where it's going to fit, but I think the market will determine if it's going to be viable or not, and we'll see if Sony abandons it. Let's hope they don't. Check it out, guys. This is over on PlayStation Lifestyle. They got the details over there. Now, Sony didn't stop. It's like Sony. But this one kind of surprised me, but as I thought about it, it didn't anymore. The PlayStation 4 already got a release date for the US and other countries. And I was kind of shocked to see that Sony said, okay, Japan's not going to get it until February 2014. February 22nd, 2014. So I'm like, huh? You know, this is the PlayStation 4. Your big foray into the console market. And your home country of Japan won't get it until February 2014. So I'm like, I had to think about this a long time. At first I was shocked. I'm like, what are they thinking? But then I thought about it. Lately, and this article even points it out, lately console sales in Japan have been crap. Crap. You can quote me on that. They've been crap. As I stated earlier, Japan is lately been all about mobile gaming. The Vita has been picking up. The 3DS has been picking up big time. And generally at launch, console sales in Japan aren't that great. It's the US and EU that are mainly the big players for Sony at launch. And I think Sony made a conscious decision to say, well, first off, they state in this article that they want to make sure that all their software is ready for Japan, which I can believe to a certain degree. If they wanted to get it ready by November, they could. I think they could. But I really think it's because of the mobile market. And that's why, I mean, they're pushing this Vita TV, a revamped PlayStation Vita, that's going to be out in November. In October, in October. So those are coming soon. I think Sony says, wait, we can afford to push this back in Japan. And this article points out that, and I don't know if I agree with this, but they point out that the Wii U is pretty much dead in Japan and the Xbox has no presence. While I can agree with the Xbox has very little presence, I don't know if the Wii U is completely dead over there. The sales have not been really, really good. But I can agree that there really isn't a lot of urgency for Sony to release the PlayStation 4 in Japan. So if they can wait on something, the PlayStation 4 would be it. So that's my rationale. That's the reasoning why I think it might be, pushed back to 2014. But if, like I said, man, like initially it doesn't make sense, but the more you think about it, there may be some valid reasoning behind it. So we're gonna see if it plays out. We're gonna see if Sony does the right thing. We're gonna see if Sony actually does something with the PlayStation 4 in 2014 in Japan. Will the numbers be good? I don't think so. They usually aren't that great. But the US and EU makes up for that big time. So is Sony going to go mobile everywhere? I doubt it. We talked about the PlayStation Vita TV as the first story. That's not coming to the U.S. in a while. I mean, I got related stories in our links that they should still be there in our link section for this show. That the PlayStation Vita TV is not coming to the U.S. or Western countries anytime soon. This is a Japan marketed product. So that kind of falls in line with, excuse me, that kind of falls in line with what Sony wants to do in their home market. So check this story out, guys. Over on PlayStationLifestyle.net, they got the details. Sony's making a shift to more mobile in Japan. The PlayStation 4 gets pushed back to February 22nd, release date in 2014.
Tune in to all things Bwana throughout the week on live.bwana.tv and on twitchtv.com/Bwana.
Okay. Speaking of Sony, again, now that PlayStation 4 has been pushed back to February 22nd, what of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn? We've been told that Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn was coming to the PlayStation 4 sometime in 2014. And I think we kind of know why now. Because the release date's not till 2014. But this is good news for those of you who are planning to upgrade from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4 and you own Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. You're going to get a free upgrade. That's right. The transition from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 will be absolutely free for PlayStation 3 owners who have Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. So they announced this that the beta will be coming February 22nd for the PlayStation 4. For the beta for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. The beta is going to be coming February 22nd. So I got nothing. This is good news all around. I didn't expect it to be an expensive transition. I thought they were going to do like what Battlefield's doing. Battlefield 4 is going to charge you $10 to go from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 to get that version. I thought they were going to do something similar to that, but they're doing it for free. And it's going to be a beta as early as the release date in Japan. So they're tying it, they're pretty much aligning it with the PlayStation 4 release date in Japan. So check this story out, guys, over on PlayStationLifestyle.net. They got the details. Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn PS4 beta starts on February 22nd, and the upgrade to the PS3 to PS4 is going to be free. This is great news. Great news for a good game. Check it out, guys. Now, next story. Nintendo. Nintendo. Well, let's go back to my rant what I had about Reggie when he went on record to say it's all about the games. That we've got Zelda, we've got Mario, we've got Donkey Kong. I'm very confident in our launch lineup. Well, the analysts for the start market, they don't agree. Apparently, Nintendo was excluded. They were not included, I should say, in the Nikkei, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, 225 stock average. And their stock declined 8.4%, which is the most in 2 years. And I don't want to focus on that number as much as I want to focus on this quote from this analyst in Japan. He states, "We believe Nintendo shares have been overvalued due to speculative demand on the assumption that they would be included in the Nikkei," which is the Nikkei 225. "As this expectation has come to nothing, this appears to be the right time to sell." So their valuation was based on the notion that they were going to be included in this 225 stock average, which is like the Dow Jones, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq. These are like averages on the market So the Nikkei 225 membership is reviewed once a year, usually in the fall. And had Nintendo been added to it, it would have been the fourth most influential stock on the Nikkei 225. But it wasn't added. Why wasn't it added? Well, let's listen. Another quote. The early signs of key first-party software, including a major turnaround in Wii U console fundamentals, are not promising. Let me read that again, because you may not have gotten that. This guy says, and I'm not saying this guy is factual, but he makes a good point. The early signs of key first-party software, Reggie says, is all about the games. We have Mario, we have Donkey Kong, we have Zelda, we've got Pikmin, we got all these things. For this guy, the early signs of key first-party software are not promising, including a major turnaround in Wii U console fundamentals, are not promising. The value of iconic Nintendo franchises may be declining as younger generations discover gaming through mobile devices. Man, I hate being right. I talked about this like 2 years ago on Game Chat with Bwana, and I talked about how the mobile gaming market, whether it be iPhones, Androids, is really going to affect Nintendo, and Nintendo cannot ignore them. I think the story at the time was that Nintendo says they're not relevant. They were talking about how mobile phones and stuff like that are not relevant. And this guy says that the Nintendo franchises, the iconic ones, may be in decline because of that, as more and more people are doing mobile gaming on their phones as opposed to a DS, or on a tablet as opposed to a Nintendo console. These are great points. I don't know if they're true, but they definitely get the brain juices flowing. They definitely get the thinking processes going, because this is a change. This is a shift. We are seeing many more mobile games. I mean, how many kids out there have played Angry Birds versus how many kids out there have played Legend of Zelda? Probably not the same percentages that we had when we were growing up. But this next generation may be more influenced by mobile devices than they are by Nintendo mobile devices. Now, that's not to say that this isn't. I mean, this is false. But check out what Nintendo just did. They released a Fisher Price version of the 3DS to target the younger market, to target those who may be playing Angry Birds instead of Mario. So what does this mean for Nintendo? What does this mean? This is another quote here. It says, the company has struggled to adapt to a consumer shift to smartphones and tablet computers. And they were warned as much as 3 years ago, I think it was. And I talked about it on the show. I said, Nintendo, they need to address this now or they're going to be in trouble. And look what happened. Now they find themselves in a position where they may have to get on the defensive. And they've been pretty much driving the mobile market, and now they might have to defend it. And that's not a position I don't think they want to be in. Especially since Nintendo is not as flexible as Sony and Microsoft. Those guys have a giant business to fall back on in case they lose billions of dollars. Nintendo loses money. Hey, they got the DS to fall back on. That's about it. So things are not looking good for Nintendo. It's not the end of the world, but I mean, this is a trend that has been happening for a long time. And Nintendo's arrogance, I keep saying it, man, they got to get out of that rut of we've got Mario, we've got Donkey Kong, we've got Zelda. It's going to kill them. So check this story out, guys. This is over at Escapist. Makes a great point about Nintendo and their current mindset and what they're going to be doing regarding the mobile market. Because Sony's making a big push with the Vita TV and the Vita, making it more affordable. It's highly unlikely that the Vita is going to overtake the DS, but it's going to nip at the buzz just enough. And we've got more and more people with Android phones. We got much more affordable iPhones that just came out that kids are going to be asking for Christmas. We got more affordable Android phones. We got more affordable 7-inch tablets that kids are going to be asking for, probably more so than a DS. Kids are going to be asking for tablets. They're not going to be asking for DS. They're going to be asking for a new Android phone. They're not going to be asking for DS. Nintendo's got to get on the ball. Check it out, guys. Escape has got details over there. And for our next story, just in case you were one of those people like me who grew up with Nintendo Entertainment Systems and you were a Nintendo fanboy. And Super Nintendos used to play all these great games. Oh, nostalgia glasses engage. Oh, wow. Look at that. Everything looks so rosy in these nostalgia glasses. I played Mario for hours and hours on end without a single problem. Oh, fun times. Oh, so many hours wasted. Zelda, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo with sprinkles. Those were the good old days. Zelda! Look at ya. All shiny. Wow, look at that Genesis. Sonic the Hedgehog? Get those rings, man. Get those. All right. Rosy glasses. Take it. The RetroN 5. This is an all-in-one NES, Super NES, Genesis, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance solution. Now, you may have seen something like this before, but this one's kind of cool. It's going to only be $99. I say only because that's a lot. That's a lot of things in one box. And if you've already got games, you've already got cartridges, you've already got the games for these systems, this is an attractive solution, especially if you want to put these on your high definition television. This thing has HD output. It has HD output at 720p. It's available for pre-order on Amazon for $99. Definitely an attractive buy even if you're a streamer on Twitch. If you're a game streamer on Twitch and you stream, like a lot of speedrunners here stream a lot of old games that ran on these systems. And just people who play retro games. This is an attractive solution. It's got a Bluetooth controller, and it's got controller inputs for just about every solution out there. You know, true nostalgic people will use the old controllers. So it's got these inputs for those controllers. Looks like a decent system. But this is something I would definitely wait on initial reviews and initial feedback to see if the hardware is actually doing what it promises. Because that's a lot. That's a lot of different, a lot of previous generation things in one box. So check this story out, guys. Over on MTV Multiplayer, the RetroN 5, $99 pre-order on Amazon, does just about every old system, and it has 720p HD output. Check it out, guys.
Please support Game Chat with Bwana by turning off your ad blocking software.
Okay. Steam! Glorious Steam! Steam, our favoriteest platform for the PC gaming market. It is the thing. If you talk about PC gaming, you gotta mention Steam, or I will break your face with a wiffle ball bat. It will take about 3,000 years, but I'll work at it very, very hard. Steam Family Sharing has been announced. This is a mechanism to allow you to share your gaming library with family and friends, up to 10 of them. And they suggest close friends and family members because these guys will have access to your Steam library. Now, what you do is that you can request a friend's access to a friend's library, and once you become authorized, you can access all of their games on their library. Now, the catch is that you cannot play the same game at the same time, naturally, because Valve will go out of business and the game companies will go nuts because why buy a game when we could just buy one instead of two copies, and you know that's the thing. So there's got to be some limitations on this. It's very similar to what Sony does on the PlayStation Network. You can share your PlayStation Network ID across multiple machines, and you can play the games on multiple machines. I think there's a limitation on that as well. But this is a lot more friendlier in that you don't have to have the other person's username and password You can just grant them access, and they'll have their own saves, their own achievements saved in the Steam cloud. So this is great for those households that have multiple people accessing the same computer, but you want to be able to have different saves. You want to be able to, buy a game once instead of buying it 5 times for every Steam ID that's on the computer. And it's good for close friends as well. If you trust someone with your Steam library, you can do this as well. I like that they put the term close friends. Close friends, because you don't want to be posting this on Reddit and say, hey guys, who wants to access to my library? It's may not be for you. But the beta is coming soon. The way it works is that if, like, say for example, I grant someone access to my library and they're playing BioShock Infinite, and I want to play BioShock Infinite, what it's going to do is that when I launch it, it's going to tell them, it's going to kick them out because I'm the master account. It's going to kick them out and say, hey, you can either buy the game or, what do they say? There's 2 options here. If someone else is playing the game in their library, the friend will be granted a few minutes to either buy the game or quit out. So you either have to buy the game or exit when somebody else grants or asks for access, if you're the master account. Games that require a third-party key, account, or subscription will not be eligible to share. Okay, so MMOs are kind of out of the picture when it comes to this. So sharing includes access to the library owner's DLC, but friends will not be able to purchase DLC if they don't own the base game as well. Kind of makes sense. Check it out, guys. This is pretty cool stuff. Steam Family Sharing lets you share games with unique saves across multiple computers, and it has a pretty good rule set that is lenient for a lot of situations. Joystick.com has the details. Now, about that Battlefield. Talked about this a little bit earlier. About that Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4. Open beta launches October 1st. It's finally here. Finally been announced. I know a lot of us have been waiting on the Battlefield 4 open beta. If you bought Medal of Honor Warfighter, or you are a battle station. I'm thinking about PlayStation. Battlefield 3 premium user, then you have access to the open beta already. That was one of the selling points of Medal of Honor Warfighter. You guys remember that from a long time ago. Also, the premium access for Battlefield 3, which I am a member. You have access to this as well. So we're going to be getting some cool stuff. EA noted that the announcement that beta players will be able to learn maps, unlock items, and build stats for use on the October 29th release of a Battlefield 4. Players can also carry over stats, unlocks, and awards from 360 and PS3 to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 once they launch in November. And again, that's going to be like a $10. That's a $10 transition price to go from one console to the other. So yeah, the games. Let's see. This is going to be October 1st. I think. Right, okay. I was thinking about Call of Duty Ghost release date, but that was a thought I'm not going to pursue. But October 1st, guys, you can get your Battlefield on and be able to shoot people in the face virtually. Check the story out, guys, over on joystick.com. Battlefield 4 open beta launches October 1st. And finally, for our last story, it's movie time. Movie time. Movie time. Get your popcorn. Get your popcorn. Get your popcorn. Get your popcorn on before I slap you in the face, boy. What if I told you that you can combine Minecraft and Mirror's Edge in space for a voxel-based game called Eden Star? Yes, you saw some parkour elements, you saw some building elements. It's actually very cool. Let's read the description, shall we? You are an augmented pioneer stationed on the Frontier-class migration vessel Eden Star, tasked with the successful reclamation of a hostile alien world, Ferris 7, because 6 was sucky. While on the planet of Eden Kit is your lifeline and link to the orbiting starship. The Eden Kit is a terraforming device that acts as a respawn station, resource management system, and beacon, which must be protected at all costs. Armed with powerful physics-bending weaponry, you can grab, blast, and smash enemies into destructible environments, attacking and defending against the hostile native life forms. Head over to the Greenlight page and click that I approve button. Alpha is going to be out sometime late this year. Definitely head over to Steam Greenlight and say, yes, I would like to play this game, Eden Star. Looks to be quite the thing. I think it might be something you might want to play. Yeah. Check it out, guys. Over at Rock, Paper, Shotgun, they got the details. What if Minecraft, Star Wars, Eden Star, all kinds of crazy goodness, and Mirror's Edge were to meet up? You get this beautiful game right here called Eden Star. So check it out. They got the details.
Do you love Game Chat? Are you looking for a way to show your appreciation? Become a Bwana.tv premium subscriber. Check out the details at Bwana.tv/donate.
And that concludes episode 82 of Game Chat with Bwana. Episode 82 of Game Chat with Bwana. Episode 82 of Game Chat with Bwana. We're over here at twitch.tv/Bwana, where we do this thing live every Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. So come over here and check us out. You can add us to your follow list. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Bwana or twitter.com/Bwana Live, which notifies you via Twitter when I go live on this particular channel. Follow my YouTube channel at youtube.com/IOBuffer. That's where this video, as well as my other tech podcast called Bwana.org Radio, is posted. You can subscribe there to get all the delicious goodies from Bwana Land over here. Come on by our Twitch channel. We play video games all the time. I'm streaming Final Fantasy 14 Realm Reborn mostly lately. I've been streaming a lot of the in-game stuff, so if you want to check that out, you gotta come over to the stream. We have some fun over here. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Alright guys, that concludes episode 82 of Game Chat with Bwana, and I will see you all next time. Everybody have a great week. Bye-bye.